This is the LowcoSports Lowdown podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr.
Hey, Lowco sports fans, welcome to another edition of the Lowco Sports Lowdown. I am Justin Jarrett, joined as always by Wes Kerr, and coming in hot from softball practice. Just got my shower and my dinner in before we got on here live, Wes, to talk a little bit about what all is going on in the Lowco sports scene. And of course, it was Friday night football on Friday. That was the big thing. We've been all over the place as far as weird. We're not streaming on Facebook for some reason, but just got a notification. But anyway, you can catch us somewhere else. And got our first practice in for our softball team tonight. We got our first week of football in on Friday night. So fall is here. School started today for the public schools. Some of the privates have already been back in there for a couple of weeks. So it's upon us, Wes. The preparation is over. We get to go see the games now. It was awesome to get out there on Friday night. And we'll talk about a bunch of other things before we get into a little bit of football here in this show, but mostly we'll keep that over on the Football Network. We've got a whole thing happening over there, all kinds of stuff happening with Game Day and Lowco Pigskin Live, but we'll definitely fill in the general listeners a little bit about what's happening with football. But how are you holding up, man? I know you had a good time Friday night. How was your weekend?
Yeah, it's always great to go out to that first. So we had our first game the week before with week -1 with Buford Academy's win at Charleston Southern, but this was the true first Friday night of high school football season, and there's nothing like it to go on that drive over to in my case Battery Creek and see the Dolphins and Hilton and Seahawks compete and all the fans hyped up and energized for that first game. There really is nothing like an opening weekend. You got to see some history with Hampton County's first ever high school football and really big time athletics action over there, taking down Carleton County, and it was a very competitive game. But great to have football underway. Obviously, that's the marquee sport of the fall sports season. But there's a lot of stuff going on. Volleyball's in full swing, and girls golf, girls tennis about to get going, as well as a couple cross country meets. So fall sports in full swing. And as you mentioned, the first day of school for the public schools today. So hope it went smoothly for everyone, for kids, students, teachers, families. It's always a very stressful time to prepare and go about the business. Well, all that entails in that first day of school. Certainly a stressful, nervy day, but also a very exciting day for students and for everyone involved with that. So hope everyone's first day of school went smoothly. But it's always exciting time to get back in not just the athletic season, but the school year, and to have all excitement through the year of going back and taking part in furthering these kids' education, because of course sports is great and we love covering it, but we have some amazing teachers, and I'm sure they're all excited to get back to what they do best, helping our students achieve in the classroom.
Yeah, no question. And it must have been a good day at school for my softball girls, because they came out there bouncing off the walls, happy, bubbly. So, sometimes that first day of school, you got practice in the evening, they're dragging, but not tonight. They had plenty of energy right up till 8 o'clock. So it was good to see. But I know my kids are happy to be back in school, I think, especially my daughter. She's the social butterfly. So she's excited to get back in there and see her friends and all that stuff. But she even said tonight, it was exciting to ride the bus today. She missed riding the bus. So she was ready to get back out there. But let's get into it here, Wes. Starting off with some headlines, and you mentioned a lot going on. We got fall sports, of course, but we got all kinds of basketball headlines this week. It was a weird week for basketball headlines because Hilton Christian Academy landed on their boys basketball coach, at least for next season, their interim head coach. And it's a guy that we know. Mike Colella is coming out of retirement, coming back to the Hilton Christian bench. He had a good run there. I think it was 06 to 11 off the top of my head, which is coincided with my time at the Packet. So I got to know Mike very well, and then I've gotten to know him, and his family through baseball and stuff like that too. So lots of history with the Colellas. It was a fun team to cover when he was the coach. I will say that at the very least. I think he would tell you that they maybe left some wins on the table, as far as like they felt like they had some state championship caliber teams and came up a little short, but it was an exciting brand of basketball, and it's going to be quite a contrast to what we saw last year with that team, which was immensely talented and athletic, but Jason Grunkemeyer, philosophically was kind of a slow it down half court type guy. So they didn't push a ton. But Colella, his first time around, he called it NASCAR on hardwood. So he wanted to go, 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 go. So this could be really fun to watch this team play under him this season and see what some of those guys can do.
Yeah, especially with those athletic players and those guards, Harry Skinner. It'll be cool to watch him in an offense where you can push the pace and try to get some open looks or open drives to the basket. And they've got some athletes on that team that are coming back that could take advantage of that kind of NASCAR pace. But it is definitely a departure and a difference from what we definitely saw with Jason Grunkemeyer. But to bring back that experience of a guy who's been with the program for a number of years, coming back for the first time since late 2000s, early 2010. So it's been a while, but someone who knows obviously that time Hilton Christian County wasn't Bluffton, who was on the island, and a lot has changed since then. But to be part of a program that he knows well, I think that's a good thing to be back in a place that you cultivate a lot of your career from. And that experience and that knowledge of just the authoritarian kind of sense of I've been there for a while. I'm respected for a program that I think has a great chance to win a state championship right now and this season with who they're bringing back. Starting with the big man Isaiah Anderson, then you bring that back an explosive young guard and sophomore Harrison Skinner, and then a couple other role players. That really impressed and melded well with that team. So you got a lot of guys coming back. And it's an exciting group. I mean, Elijah White, you have a lot of exciting young players on this team.
Did you mention Q yet? Did you mention Caden Turner yet? That's a pretty good one coming back too.
Yeah, no, they've got a great core coming back, and Kalel being an experienced coach, he knows what it takes to get out from these guys. And as you mentioned, Caden Turner, very athletic. Harry Skinner, very athletic. And same goes for a bunch of those other guys as well. And this is a team that could be very fun to watch push the tempo. So it could be a difference in style, but I think it could suit this team well in the end. And the collection that they have right now, I think, has a great shot to be the best team and the last team standing. So I think it's you want to make sure you have a guy coming to this interim role who is well respected, well versed, well schooled in coaching, and knows what it takes to put together a good team. And I think Kalila has that. I think it's a good decision to bring him back. And so football season's just starting. Really excited for what we'll see with the Rompaduzzi team, but already the hype building for what this basketball season could bring. And now we've been contemplating who this be, and now it's official. It's a old face in Kalila.
Yeah, and that kind of came out of nowhere for me. I thought, I was thinking about people who were in the building and on the staff and things like that. So didn't really think about Mike, but he's around. His grandnephew Roman is at Hilton Head Christian, so there's family connections there. It makes a lot of sense as a stopgap. And, I don't know that he wants to take on the job long term, but it's a really good situation. As an interim situation, you got a guy who's got some experience, not a first-time head coach, so I think it makes a lot of sense. And I think, he's a good choice to just be a guiding hand on a team that is talented enough and has enough chemistry that you can kind of roll it out there and let them play on game day, at least. They're going to take care of their business. So I think it's a good deal for them. And in other basketball news, I got a bummer of a text the other night from our friend Chris Gay, thanking us for all our coverage and everything like that, and saying that they've moved to Fort Mill. So Sully Gay will not be a Beaufort Academy Eagle or a Beaufort Eagle this year. We've seen him in both uniforms over the course of his career. He's going to be a Catawba Ridge, whatever they are. He's going to Catawba Ridge. And that's a bummer for us, certainly, because we've watched the kid play since he was, 8th grader, freshman. We've been watching him for a long time. So to not be able to have that front row seat for his senior year is a sad thing for us, but certainly we'll be able to keep tabs on him, and we'll still keep tabs on him wherever he goes after this, because I think he's a guy who's going to play at the next level.
Yeah, I totally agree. He's got that talent and a bunch of different skill sets that he can apply to that next level of basketball, because he was so huge and really taking Beaufort High to reach the potential that we saw last year. And Gabe was outstanding. That chemistry, of course, with Michael Dennison, and just he is a electric player that can do a lot of different things well, rebounding, shooting the ball, just a great leader and team player who is a scrappy guy to have out in the court, and that's a guy who's going to be we were hoping to see him back here for his senior year with Beaufort, and just really enjoyed the story of how he's grown as a player. We got to see him through his 8th grade freshman year, as young guy over at BA, and then heading over to Beaufort to a much more tougher competitive arena at the, I guess you could say, I mean, skis in high school league, the difference in basketball isn't as big as compared to season football, but still a different environment in the high school league. But he definitely excelled there, and propelled Beaufort to an excellent playoff run. And you're hoping to see him one more year for a senior season to finish out here in the Lowco, but wasn't meant to be. But certainly that's someone who has a bright future in the game, and just a great young man, great kid. Really enjoy interviewing him. He always said the right things when we talked to him in interviews, and just a good guy to bond with, and did so much for both Beaufort Academy and Beaufort High School last year. So someone's going to be well missed in the Lowco, but still excited to see how he finishes his high school career and where he goes from there. Because, as I said, he is definitely a talented, well-respected, and just a great all-around young man. So wishing him all the best as he heads to Catawba Ridge, Fort Mill area, and finishing out his high school career, and then best wishes beyond that. So you never know. We may see him play again. You just never know what can happen in a high school year, but it's
it could be a sand shark in a year. Who knows? I mean, there's no telling what could happen. But the world is a much smaller place than we give it credit for most of the time. We'll come across people again most of the time. But so best wishes to Sully. More basketball news. Speaking of guys who played at the next level, we talked a little bit, I think, on the show about Cross and the basketball coaching staff they put together. Doc Archibald is a really talented young guy who family is all basketball coaches, and he played for Billy Gillespie at Ranger Junior College. And he's got on his staff Matthew Fisher-Davis, who, if you follow SEC basketball, you remember this guy just lighting it up for Vanderbilt a couple of years ago. He's on the staff at Cross. He's doing a little clinic coming up. Do you have the information in front of you, Wes? I do not, but that clinic is September 9th. September 9th, they're doing a clinic. So, I mean, this is a really cool opportunity. We've talked with Rob Benson a little bit from H2 Basketball, and he said that MFD is a ridiculously good basketball trainer, the best we've seen in this area, that it's really going to change things for the top level kids and anybody who can put in the work with him. So this is a great opportunity to kind of introduce yourself to what he's teaching and start to get a feel for that, and maybe it develops into something else. But man, this is really exciting to have a coaching staff like that at an upstart program like Cross that we know has a ton of potential. And now I think the next step is trying to get a field house built, get a gym on campus, other than that caffeinasium thing they have going on. And I think the sky's the limit for that program and for that school. Really, it's seen a ton of growth over the years and seems to be poised for bigger things.
Yeah, it's really cool to see a talented college player like that come over to this area, and not just to come as a coach of a high school program that's kind of still getting off the ground, and now has a lot of potential with the coaching staff that it has on its roster, but to just have the gracious effort to not only do that, but also put on a clinic and a program for these kids to teach them about the game, to inspire them. I mean, that's everything when you were able to do that right here in the community, and just to give them a target to reach for and look at that. If you continue to raise your game, there's a path for you here in the Lowcountry, whether it's at Cross, whether it's at other high schools in the area. And then you got USCB, a program that's starting college basketball, which we really haven't had in the Lowcountry, a college team here to watch and be a part of that. So it just goes to show you that the game is starting to grow and expand in terms of coaching, in terms of just the prestige of players and teams around here. And of course, we've seen some squads compete for state titles around here in the Lowcountry. And we've got some great coaches, and to see guys like Jeremiah Faber coming back, and now Colel over Hilton Christian Academy, to have those minds being a part of this generation, and then to have these other guys, these former college stars come over here and be a part of helping grow the sports and then be a positive presence for these kids, because that's really everything to. Obviously, basketball is a huge sport nationwide, but to have that that one-on-one or even just that group kind of coaching to see a guy who's done it before right here and have him give you a path of here's what you can do to get to that goal. That's once again, that's everything for these kids, this community. So basketball on the whole is such a bright future. Of course, with what's going on at USCB and just all the stuff that's going on with Cross, with just an all-star coaching staff, which I think it could be a huge kickstart for not just the basketball program as all, but the athletic program as a whole going forward.
Yeah, no doubt. And we've got the info up on the screen if you are watching this live. We got September 9th at Cross. 9 a.m. to noon, ages 7 to 17, boys and girls, $65. So, I mean, that's not bad. 3-hour training session, 3-hour camp with a guy like that for $65 is a pretty good bargain. So, if you're trying to develop those hoop skills, ages 7 to 17, get out and see Coach Fish, Matthew Fisher Davis, Vanderbilt's a legend, really. I mean, he was kind of legendary during that short time there. He was awesome. He was fun to watch. One of the most fun guys in the SEC. A little dirty, little hard-nosed guy, but I liked it. I enjoyed the way he played. Loved to watch him. So a couple of other headlines to get to. We got another coaching movement, and it's a return trip. We thought maybe Josh Fox had a one-way ticket from Bluffton to JP2, but no, he had the return journey booked. He is back at Bluffton now, coaching the Bobcats, and this is exciting for me because I love Fox. I mean, Fox is a tremendous coach. We've seen what he did in a short time at JP2. Bluffton's had a ton of talent these last few years, and they've been competitive and they've been close. I feel like he's got a chance to really elevate this program back to where it was when he took them to the state championship game a few years ago. And I'm excited. I just think his personality, his philosophy, it was great at JP2, but it really fits at the public school level, and I think he's going to get the most out of that team and take that program back to where it used to be.
I think it's a great move for Bluffton, and for Josh Fox, it's a return to a place that he made a big impact on, and now he's coming back to continue that and do it again here at Bluffton High School. And you just look at the improvements overall. Obviously, Hayden Gregory was the big splash alongside Jared Karkoff. Then you look at what's happening with basketball. Of course, Lonnie Roberts is at a great position with the girls program, and now you bring back someone who's not just a great coach, but just you mentioned the personality, the spark that he has set in these kids. The knowledge that he has about the game and the way he's able to mold these players to become better than some of their parts. We saw that work at John Paul II, nearly won that state title there, and now he has another chance to bring that Bluffton soccer program back to where it was. And I think you're going to see more players buy in, head over to Bluffton, and be a part of an athletic program that continues to fly on the rise. And we saw it ever since we talked about Hayden Gregory coming here, and now we just continue to see improvements in coaching, improvements and just the excitement and success of these different athletic teams around here. So Josh Fox, I hope that we'll be able to get him on our soccer podcast soon, and or even on this one, because he is a great soccer mind. He's a great person, and really, really pumped for what he's going to do back over at Bluffton. I think the sky's the limit for what this team will be able to accomplish. And I think the group of guys that he's going to bring out there, I mean, I expect to see more players think about going to Bluffton to play soccer there under Fox in the future with his, resume, his expertise, and just that great personality he brings to the field. So really pumped for the future of Bluffton soccer and a continuing sign for good things to come for Bluffton athletics.
Yeah, he's a leader of men, period. And I'd be interested. I wonder if our guy Misa's listening right now. I'd be interested to know if he's feeling more excited about, getting to go head to head with Fox again in the Derby, or is he kind of nervous because he's had the town painted blue for a while now and he's worried about that green paint coming back out because Foxy's over there. So it's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out. But I'm looking forward to it for sure. I'll definitely try to be at those Derby games. That's going to be good times.
Yeah.
One other quick headline before we recognize our MVP sponsors, and we'll be joined shortly by Louise Sanders. She can talk about who she's going to get to fill those shoes for Josh Fox. She can talk about that big win on Friday night for the football team, and she can talk about her hot start for her volleyball team as well. But one other headline, Brian Harmon, Savannah guy, Players Am champ, who I told everybody a while back, the very first event I covered here in the Lowco was the Players Am, the year that Brian Harmon won it in 2005. And he's now on the Ryder Cup team, which we kind of knew was a foregone conclusion after the major win. But he is officially on the Ryder Cup. I think he is the kind of dude that you want on your squad because he is a competitor. He is going to grind and fight. And he's a patriot too. He's a good old red-blooded Georgia country boy. He loves America. So, kind of reminds me of when Boo Weekley was on that Ryder Cup team and he brought that same kind of mentality, although he was a little bit more of a cut up than Harmon. Harmon's pretty straightforward these days. He's pretty laser focused these days.
He's a straight shooter, but he is one heck of a player. And sometimes he just goes about his business quietly, but everybody on the tour respects him for what he does and just how consistently he plays. And to be a good match player, to be a successful Ryder Cup player, you got to have that locked-in mentality, and you got to be loose out there. And he really fits all the boxes of a guy who I think could really shine at this Ryder Cup. And yeah, he's got that good old attitude of being that.
Well, I guarantee you, he don't care much for Europeans. No, just kidding. He's an American boy, though. He's going to have a good time with it. And you say it's funny because we say he's such a straight shooter, and you say down to earth and everything. That is not who he was when he was young. He was cocky. He was swaggy. And, the game and life humbles you a little bit. And he's got some perspective now. And, he goes about his business. It's been interesting to see him mature and grow up. And, I think that he's poised to have a really strong back half of his career. I think getting that big major win, sometimes that really takes the pressure off and unlocks a guy. And I think he's the kind of guy who puts so much pressure on himself and grinds so hard that getting that win can really help him break through. So,
yeah.
Let's shout out our MVP sponsors real quick, starting with Mickelson Law Firm, the original sponsor of Loco Sports, still going strong 6.5 years later, and they are the official closing attorneys of Loco Sports, so you can close your real estate deal after you make a purchase with Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of Loco Sports, and my wife, the one who allows us to keep doing this. She can tell me to go get a job any day she wanted to, but she doesn't do it, so we got to help her out. She'll help you find your forever home or your starter home here in the Loco, and hopefully get that starter home. We'll get you in that forever home a few years down the road. That's the way this real estate market works. And you can also team up with Homegrown Home Inspections, another MVP sponsor. They will inspect that home for you, make sure it is in tip-top shape, make sure anything that needs repair is taken care of before you get in there, and make sure that you protect that valuable asset here in the Loco. Homegrown Home Inspections, the official home inspectors of Loco Sports and the official hospice of Loco Sports, hospice care of the Lowcountry, and also now palliative care of the Lowcountry. They can help you out when your loved ones reach the end of their journey, help you with that end of life transition and make it a positive experience for all. Because it's not about dying, it's about living at hospice, and they can help you live without pain too because of their palliative care services. Get in-home services for chronic pain management, things like that, all at Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, the only not-for-profit hospice in Southern Beaufort County. So we've got a few more headlines we'll talk about in a little bit, but we've got a guest waiting in the green room. So let's shake up the lineup a little bit and pull in Louise Sanders from JP2. Louise, thanks for joining us. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm good. A little worn out, a little tired. Just had a match tonight and rushed home. So, but here we are.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys get another dub tonight. I haven't even had a chance to check Max Preps yet.
We did. I haven't updated anything yet, but yeah, we did. We're rolling along. Pretty proud of the girls.
It's been a great start. Describe the energy and the excitement that's transpired so far early on this volleyball season.
Well, we had a great season last year, had a super strong team, lost our middle to graduation, Emily O'Sullivan, who was just solid all the way around from a player to, she was practically a player coach out there.
Yeah.
So it's always interesting when you start that next season to see what's coming, who's going to step up, who's going to fill those shoes. And surprisingly, it has been a pleasant surprise that some new girls have come in from JV and some of the existing girls have changed positions. And I mean, I think we look stronger than ever. And I didn't think I'd be saying that after the loss of Emily, for sure.
Yeah, that's a testament to the work put in the off season and the preseason, getting ready. And you guys start so early. You do this every year to me. I'm not even ready for fall sports yet, and then all of a sudden you've played 3 matches that I didn't even know about. So, are you just that kind of person who's like, look, we can only do so much in practice. We need to get out there and play.
Yeah, we need live bait, I guess. You just want to you condition all summer long, and then you go to camps and you piddle around with that. And so we start with some scrimmages and then an early tournament in Colleton County last year, Colleton Prep this year. And we had 3 matches last week and then 1 today, 1 tomorrow. So, we're sitting at 7-0. So it's a nice feeling. We had a tough match last week against 4A Northwood. They were great competition. That was a really, really good match. It looks like we took it pretty easily, but we did not. They were really good competition. And then Palmetto Christian next week, and that's big time there. They're phenomenal.
Very, very impressive start for you guys, and a lot of new faces that have been a spark for this team. Tell me about these, some of these girls who we haven't really heard much from that are becoming stars across your group.
Yeah, we've got, we moved Lily Termini, who was over on the outside for us, into the middle to fill Emily's shoes. And I mean, she hasn't skipped a beat. She looks stronger than ever. She's only a sophomore and she's been with me since 8th grade. And she's come into her own confidence wise. Cameron Michael is just hitting lights out. Emma McCamey, we brought up from JV. And that girl has more power than I have ever seen in such a compact body. I think she could hit it through the back wall of the gym if we let her. So we're trying to harness her and serving, defense. We've always been a very good serving team. Even in the years where we weren't strong hitters, we were always very strong from serving. We still have that with plus some, but defensively, Lily Lutheran, Kaylin Getzy back there on defense. I'm sure I'm leaving somebody out. My 2 setters, Casey Graves, who, we talk about her in every sport from softball to basketball to volleyball. I mean, she's a senior this year. Her, Sadie Moulton, and Bella Crespo, my other middle. So, I mean, we're very well-rounded, and the girls are so dedicated to each other. I mean, that's really the bottom line. They are completely dedicated to each other, and it shows on the court. It really, really does. Their enthusiasm this year it's off the charts, even this early. So I'm excited. I'm really excited. We've got some tough matches, and obviously our tough region, with Hilton Head Prep, Hilton Head Christian. I mean, all these games are good and good for us, but we get to the meet there and towards the end of September.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I like those Lowco on Lowco clashes because I get to see two of y'all at once, and somebody's guaranteed to win. Those are my favorite ones. So
yeah, and they're always great matches. This year we have some plans for those two schools that maybe didn't come to fruition in years past, but I think we're ready this year. I really do.
Speaking of that, you had some plans for Thomas Hayward football on Friday night. JP2 0-6 all time against THA, but our guys CT4 coming through huge on Friday night. Just tell us about the atmosphere Friday night and the vibes after the game.
It was electric. It really, really was. Everybody came out from our parents and boosters and students. That I can honestly say, in the 7 years I've been there, the most packed I have ever seen Hardeeville, bar none. And, there was a lot of rivalries on that field as well. It just wasn't, Thomas Hayward versus JP2. We had the Snyder brothers, going at each other, literally going at each other, which was just fantastic. Christian Tilton has ties to Thomas Hayward.
Yep.
So there was a lot of back and forth. One of our assistant football coaches was at Thomas Hayward also prior, not as a coach, but as a teacher. So there was just that little extra special amp that you could feel. I mean, it was palatable. It was awesome.
Getting that first win over Thomas Hayward has to feel good. I mean, obviously it means a lot to beat them, but just in terms of igniting that success and building some momentum, how big of a win is that for not just JP2 football, but of course they say football setting the tone for the athletic season for the sports program as a whole.
Yeah, Coach Milligan has come in, new coach, new head coach. He's so dedicated to the boys all summer. He's really just been preaching. He's a very relationship-driven style coach. He was out there. He was raw, emotional. He really, he was riding that wave with the boys. And I think they wanted it for him as much as he wanted it for them. It was going back and forth. And, the electricity in school today, we have Victory Monday t-shirts that the kids can wear when the football team wins on Fridays. And we sold out of every single shirt we had in that school. I mean, I don't think there was a staff member or a student who wasn't sporting Victory Monday today. So it definitely carries over.
Man, that's a great idea. I love the Victory Monday t-shirts. Yep. That is terrific. Do you let them wear jeans too if they wear the t-shirt or something?
No, they have to wear the uniform bottoms, unfortunately. But they don't seem to mind when they can change the shirt. So
yeah, if you can swap that polo for a t-shirt, that's a win every time. Yeah, but exactly. Well, we talked to you made a great hire with Shane Milligan. I'm really impressed with him. Loved getting to know him a little bit at media day, and obviously getting this win is vindication. That he's doing the right things going into the season. But you do have another big coaching hire to make now, because you just lost your man Josh Fox, who. Terrific coach, and he did a great job over there. But I guess reflect a little bit about what he's been to that program and what it means to lose him, and what you're looking for in the next soccer coach at JP2.
Well, I absolutely love Josh. We coached side by side for all the years that he was there. 2 years I coached the boys in JV, and then I assisted him for the other years. To know Josh is to love him. I mean, his style, his persona, how he is with the boys, what he brings to the team is just not something that you can quantify or measure. He's an amazing guy. When he left, I mean, there were tears on both sides of the office when he told me, and it was the best move for him. Obviously now fast forwarding it looks like fate has stepped in. His son will be going to Bluffton as well. So, I mean, I think it's a great thing for him. We are, however, retaining Coach Steve Lee, and he will be our new head boys soccer coach. Nate has been with Josh for as many years as I think Josh has been coaching. And I've coached side by side with him, and he is a very impressive tactician. I think he will fill the role nicely. The boys are excited that he is staying to be their coach, and he is thrilled. This will be his first head coach gig, but I think it's long overdue. You know, he was always faithful to Coach Fox, and now they're going their separate ways. And April 25th is on the calendar. And let's just say that the boys at JP2 are ready.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
For April 25th, that's going to be a fun one to cover. But, you know, the continuity of you know, having your assistant stay and become the head coach, I think that means a lot. You know, how excited the kids, you know, to be able to have a chance to prove himself and then have the opportunity to go up against Coach Fox this coming spring.
Yeah. I just, it's really a no-brainer. He's perfect. He's really perfect for the program. And like I said, the kids love him and trust him. You know, they know where he's coming from. He knows where they're coming from. There's that belief in each other. And, you know, that's that type of chemistry that you're looking for.
Yeah, I love to see that. You just love when a guy has really paid his dues and been a student and worked under somebody. I mean, he learned from the best. So you really can't go wrong there. I mean, he's going to bring the same hand, the same, you know, philosophies to it, and it's going to be really good for you. But looking ahead to, you know, the fall sports season, obviously volleyball off and running, football undefeated. JP2 hadn't lost anything yet this fall, but we got some. What else we got coming from the Golden Warriors this fall?
Oh gosh, so you know, we got swimming and we have a lot of sports going on for as small a school as we are. So we've got swimming. I think they've got to meet this weekend on Saturday. Sailing's coming up in a couple weeks. Middle school football, I believe, is next week against BA. That'll be their opener, which will be an interesting one. Let's see, girls tennis is about a week off from getting started. A real strong program, so that's good. Let's see, I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. Cross country.
You got archery?
That's it.
When do they play?
Who, archery? Archery kind of starts around January. They have a very interesting schedule. They they're around January.
All right,
very good.
We'll get back to them then, but you know, just let's circle back to this volleyball team and you know how excited you are for the start that you've had and just you know, give me a preview of the schedule and what you think this team needs to do most importantly to continue that success into region play and beyond.
Well, it's the consistency that we're trying to really nail down now as we play all these matches, staying consistent, not the rise and the fall, staying focused on the court, trusting each other. And that, you know, that type of stuff can only come from gameplay. You can't, that's hard to work on the practice court. So as they're out there now, you know, all these games are really practice for region. And for states, you know, we've been the last 2 years, hadn't been prior to me getting there. And each year we get a little bit closer and closer to the goal. But, you know, this year it feels different. It's hard to explain, but we're more well-rounded. We're not putting all our eggs in one or two baskets. We're really much more well-rounded than we've been in the past. And as a coach, that makes me feel good. Somebody's having an off day. Somebody's, you know, just not hitting it that day. We've got the right people to get it done.
Very good. Well, you've got one tomorrow at home against Veritas Academy, and then you head on the road for that big match against Palmetto Christian. So best of luck, Louise. Thanks so much for jumping on with us, and hope the Golden Warriors can keep this great fall going for you. Keep that smile on your face.
Absolutely. We're going to do it. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. We'll talk with you real soon.
Take care.
Wes, that was great. Louise was terrific. Covered lots of ground. She says the right things. The terrific interview, but really good to see that program off to a great start so far this season, not only with volleyball, but with football getting that big win as well. So JP2 looking up, and shout out my boys, the Spencers over there, Griffin and Russell, they're involved in everything over there. I know they were out at the football game. Russell was giving me a report Saturday morning at baseball practice. So love what's happening out at JP2.
I love the Victory Monday tradition. That's fantastic.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, that's fantastic. I love it. Let's all celebrate on Monday. Keep the good vibes going all through the week. So good stuff happening at JP2. Let's shout out our varsity sponsors now, Wes, starting with DDS Web Design, the official SEO experts of LowcoSports.com. They have got all kinds of tools that they can use to get your website working more for you, so you can target all these extremely online folks like ourselves and our viewers and try to get some more business out of them. So if you don't have a website, or if you have one that's just not getting clicks, call on DDS Web Design. Mike and Denise, or Dave and Denise, excuse me, will get your site up and running quickly and use the best SEO tactics to make sure you get found online. And they love to work with small businesses and nonprofits to help them do more and think bigger. So if you have a small budget for this, don't worry. They can take care of it for you at DDS Web Design. Go see them at ddshhi.com. And our newest varsity sponsor, our friends at the Parker Law Group, who have been serving folks with their legal needs across Hampton, Colleton, and Jasper counties for years. And now they're helping us to continue to expand our coverage in those counties and shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes around the Lowcountry with their varsity sponsorship. If you'd like to join them, hit us up at LowcoSports@gmail.com. That's LOWCO sports@gmail.com. We can get you started as a varsity sponsor for a reasonable rate, just $100 a month or $1,000 a year. We'll get you in there with DDS Web Design and Parker Law Group. So, Wes, we can't leave the people without any football because we're all still jonesing for next Friday night. So, a few things to go through on the football front, and including we'll just run down the scores in case you've been sleeping and missed any of this. Hampton County 10-0 over Colleton. Hilton Head 39-6 over Battery Creek. Huge game for Jackson Bybee. John Paul II, we mentioned it earlier, 28-21 over Thomas Hayward. Christian Tilton over 240 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns. Patrick Henry blew out Cross 55-0. Hugh Ferry 2 touchdown passes and a rushing TD. Bluffton 41-6 over Beach. Owen Bays threw a couple TD passes and rushed for a touchdown. Came out of the game, but he's fine. Don't worry. He'll be back on Friday. They had a big lead. He was a little banged up, so he just sat it out. Kane Bay took down Buford 29-10. Defending champs fall in their opener against a strong 5A team. I'll put them in my top 10 this week. Ridgeland 27-12 over St. John's. Maurice Brown, couple rushing touchdowns. Brown, Xavier Plaudenis, and Winston Smith, all over 125 rushing yards, Wes. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. BA 27-23 over Pinewood. Huge game for Devontae Green, 152 rushing on 13 carries, 2 touchdowns, 5 tackles, 4 solo, 4 fumble, pick 6. That was as good as one that you'll ever see. One-handed pick 6, ridiculous. BA 2-0 after week 0. Do the math. Bethesda 50-7 over Hilton Head Prep. Colleton Prep 33-23 over Florence Christian. Monster game for Cole Davis, 241 rushing, 2 touchdowns, and a touchdown pass. And Savannah Christian 49-0 over Hilton Head Christian. We told you that Savannah Christian team was loaded. So that's the football scores from this week. Any takeaways that jump out at you? Obviously, huge win for THA. Hilton Head impressed. Colleton Hampton was a dogfight. I mean, it was just a great night.
Yeah, I think, Colleton definitely made a statement after, they lost a lot on the line to be able to out-tool still a very good Florence Christian team that certainly, said a lot about what this group might be this year. Hilton Head looked really good. I thought that game would be a lot closer, but Jackson Bybee was sensational, 3 touchdown passes, plus a rushing score. Then that defense was lights out. So many guys to highlight. Of course, Shake Thompson setting the tone, but so many others, like Tristan Simmons, Connor Wendell, and forcing 5 turnovers. That's some quality defensive work there by BJ Payne's group. I'm not going to panic too much about Buford. That first game, everyone's come from the state champion. It's always difficult, no matter where you play. That Cane Bay team is very, very solid. I expect Buford.
That game was 10-10.
Yeah, and it was close, as you mentioned.
It
was much closer than the score indicates. I expect Buford to have a better showing next week, but still a very tough opponent coming back home to face Fort Dorchester. I will be at that game, and there's also a very special moment associated with that game, which we'll get to in a second. And then Buford Academy 2-0 Jody said after week 0, played that week -1 game a week ago, and now they've beaten 2 quality teams, First Trinity Collegiate and Pinewood Prep. Devontae Green, absolute monster. I mean, offensively, and then one of the best pick sixes you'll ever see at the high school level. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's all over social media.
I'm trying to get it up here. It's a little grainy, although the one we have is pretty good. The head-on one is a little grainy, but the other one is dope.
Cool.
But yeah, keep talking.
Yeah. But yeah, Devontae Green and don't discount Jackson Bohr. He was kind of the star of this first game, but then Devontae Green, that two-headed monster, continuing to be a force in the deep receiver, and doing a good job leading the way under center in that defense. So
There
the way they're playing football, and yet the highlight right here.
It's loud up in them stands. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. It was on WHHI tonight too. Lowco Lights. Here we go. Here we go. Look at this. Oh, son. That was crazy. That was crazy.
He just snatched that with one hand out of the air and took it to the house. Just ridiculous. A freak athletic. He is something else, and that team is something else so far. I think they are the team to beat. We've mentioned this before, but they are looking like the best team
from the other angle. Look at that.
A reverse angle right here. Absolutely redonkulous.
It was so good. It was so good. I'm gonna head over there on Friday night for the first quarter. Hang out before the game, do a little Lowco tailgate party. Come on out. We'll have some Lowco swag to give away and some Lowco gear for sale. Just hang out, have a good time, do some interviews, probably get Devontae mic'd up and talk about that big game last week. Catch a little bit of that game, and then I'm going to head over to Battery Creek and catch them against Ridgeland. Agree with our commenter on Facebook here. Colleton County going to be all right. I agree completely. Kinlock has brought new energy to that program, like crazy new energy. That photo that I took of him leading the team onto the field was just straight out of Remember the Titans or something. Like it was a great scene, man. And to see Colleton excited about, I don't agree with this though. Hampton supposed to lost. Nah, Hampton outplayed Colleton. Colleton got a couple breaks and played really tough to stay in the game. Don't get me wrong, but Hampton was knocking on the door all night. Zion was playing through an injury. Zion Dobson still ended up with 140 and a touchdown on just 11 carries. And Hampton's defense. I talked to Rob Hanna on Saturday night, and his philosophy is we're going to put the best 11 on D always, and then we're going to figure it out on offense. And so, we're going to see that. We're going to see that from them early. Their defense is going to be ahead of their offense because that's where they're focusing things. If you can't score, you can't win, So, and that's their philosophy. And they got enough dudes on defense. They can keep you out of the end zone most of the time. Oh, we got some love. I like you too, Bo. It's all good. It's all good. But I love this interactivity.
I do like to take about Colleton County. I think that team has potential to surprise in that region. I think, that's a good quality performance in that first game to hold Hampton to 10 and to, fight defensively against a very good Hurricane unit. So, I'm excited to see what they do. I think White Knoll is going to be a game we're going to learn a lot more about what this team is capable of. And so I'm interested to see how they fare and that contest coming up this week.
Yeah, it's a tough match. White Knoll's a pretty good team. And, I think it's a game Colleton can win, but it's not a given by any means. They're going to have to play a good football game. They're going to have to take care of the ball. They got get a little bit more going on offense, especially in the pass game. Running game was pretty good. They had some pretty good production on the ground from Cameron Grayson, 115 on 19 carries. That's solid. Got to get the pass game going a little bit more. The Hampton's pass rush had a lot to do with that. They were all up in it. On passing downs, but Nick Williams absolutely lays the wood on defense, and that Colleton defense was very physical, very quick to the ball. I was really impressed with the defense, especially in the red zone. So that defense can hunt, and so the offense will come along. And Kinlock, I'm so happy for him, man. I'm so proud of him. He's really embraced this opportunity and is pouring himself into it.
Yeah,
And you
and
can see the
we've
results
seen some
already.
newfound energy throughout the entire program. Kinlock has already provided such a spark. You just look at the numbers that he has, helped show out to practice and just that newfound excitement about this program. We saw it during preseason, and it's really transferred well. And I mean, they gave him all they could handle against a very good Hampton County team, and that's a group that's going to be fighting, clawing, scrapping in this region. It's going to be no easy win to get when any of our region foes go up against Colleton. I'm excited. 7-4A is going to be a dogfight. There's so many deep and talented teams. Hilton Head, I think, they definitely made a case against Battery Creek. We haven't seen May River yet. They play their first game this week. So still kind of
Yeah, and I mean they've been kind of in that number 2 slot for a while. So like you got to give them the benefit of the doubt. So I think Bluffton, James Island is the consensus favorite. Bluffton is kind of the it team that everybody's looking to maybe jump up. But I think May River is enjoying the fact that nobody's talking about them. I think Hilton Head is enjoying the fact that we're the only people really paying attention to them. I don't think people are too serious about them yet. But I think that's a good team. I do. I think it's a good team. I'm looking forward to, I'll tell you right now, I've got my calendar marked already for September 15th because I can't wait to go out to Hampton, and I'm going to have fried chicken before the game with BJ Payne and Rob Hanna. We're going to put the camera on us and just talk about life and football. And then I'm going to bird dog around and get as much video as I can. We're going to make a little documentary about Friday Night Lights in Hampton, and then we're going to roll out and do it somewhere else a couple more times this season and keep it rolling year after year and get to every place we can and try to document what it is that makes Friday night special.
Especially here in the Lowco, there's something unique. Yeah, it's going to be fun to cover that one and just to see the shared experiences that we all have at football games, and we get to see some legends come through here. Of course, Puna 4, D. Delaney, an example of that, but we're going to honor another special legendary Lowco product on Friday night, and that is the Ghost, Ron Parker, who will have his number jersey retired before Beaufort High returns to their field for their first game since winning the state championship last December. And Ron Parker will be the man of the hour at the Eagles Nest. I will be there. Cannot wait to see the excitement, the energy there as the Ghost gets recognized at Beaufort High School.
Yeah, it's going to be super cool. I'm trying to figure out how I can be at BA and Beaufort and then go to Battery Creek. I'm not gonna be able to do it, so you're gonna have to tell me about all the Ghost thing. But I was just texting with the Ghost the other night. That's my guy. Love that dude, and just thinking about football got me thinking about Ghost, and so there you go. Jersey retirement for Ron Parker. There won't be another number 3, I guess, at Beaufort High. So that'll be interesting. But 7 o'clock, get out there early and see that. But Ghost, I got ideas with Ghost too. We got an idea for a show that we're going to try to get off the ground at some point, a little docu-series as well that goes back and looks at some of the lost history of high school football in South Carolina in the Black community during segregation. So we're going to try to get out there and do that one of these days when we have free time, right, Wes? We have so much free time nowadays. But Ghost's going to be honored, so that's very cool. And that's enough football for the non-football show, I think. We'll see you on Friday for Lowco Game Day and for Lowco Pigskin Live at 11 o'clock Friday night. But let's shout out our Lowco Booster Club sponsors, Wes, starting with Prime IV Hydration and Wellness. It's been so hot out there, sweating buckets, especially these football players out there working hard in the heat. Go over to Belfair Town Village to Prime IV Hydration and Wellness. See my guy, Mr. Max over there, and get juiced up with a saline drip, IV drip that's got all your vitamins and minerals. Whatever you're dealing with, they've got the right concoction to get you feeling right and get your levels right so that you'll feel better. And you get to sit in the massage chair while you do it. So head over to Prime IV and get hydrated and feeling right, and then go to Rooted Living Wellness and get that back cracked up. I need to go see Ambrose real bad myself. I've been playing men's baseball at age 45, and it's got my back all kinds of messed up. But Ambrose will give you the chiropractic adjustment, but he'll also just talk to you and get to know your body and what might be going wrong so that he can get you feeling your best and up to 100%, especially if you're out there trying to play sports. And also, Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. Chris Odom is the man over there when it comes to getting floors clean. He is the dude. He can also clean your carpet and upholstery, but most importantly, he'll get those wood, tile, vinyl floors so clean your feet will thank you. Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry and Eagle Creations, full line promotional product provider, and they also have Proudly Southern gift baskets that they will put together for whoever you need to let know that you're thinking about them, whether it's somebody who's helped you out recently or somebody you want to say thank you to, somebody you just want to let know that you appreciate them. Eagle Creations can hook you up. And if you're a coach and you need a quick fill-in jersey or hat, something like that, they can take care of that too. You don't need to go to a national company and wait on shipping. Eagle Creations can do it right here on Argent Boulevard, and they're a Lowco Booster Club sponsor and supporting our May River football coverage. So lots of great stuff in this show, Wes, and there's one thing left to do, and that is to name our teams of the week. And, you know, we got all these football teams playing. We got a handful of other teams playing, not too many to pick from, but who you got first?
I'm going to have to go with our guest today and highlight the JP2 volleyball girls. What a start, still undefeated. Man, they started playing earlier than anybody. I remember getting those emails like early August, and we're underway all high school sports because JP2 volleyball already out picking up some W's. It's been a different cast, but these veterans have stepped up even more. Girls like Lily Tremini, still a sophomore, but you have Casey Graves, who's been so huge as a setter, outside hitter. And then Lily Butherin is the libero defense specialist. So they've really got all the pieces, and now it comes down to consistency. In volleyball, that's everything. Can you find ways to stay solid point after point? That's the challenge, and these girls have done so far so good, and certainly some more challenging matches on the schedule. I'm looking forward to seeing how I do on the road at Palmetto Christian, and then you get into Colleton Prep, St. Andrews before the region play begins, when you go up against teams like Palmetto Prep Hill and Christian Academy in a couple of weeks. So this JV2 program has been on the cusp of doing something special, and I love the energy that I saw today from Coach Luis. I think something special is brewing over there, and I am pumped to see how the story unfolds throughout this fall.
Little footage there from our old intern who's now killing it at Furman University, Taylor Michael. Her little sister Cameron is got a little shout out tonight on the show from Louise, so that was cool. Taylor was a terrific intern for us in high school at JP2, and now she's doing it up big at Furman, part of their game day marketing staff. And it was exciting to have her contribute some footage again last week. That was really cool when she was home. So shout out to Cameron, or to Taylor and Cameron. Great choice for your team of the week. I knew you were going to do that. You're always kissing up to the guests. It's all good. No, I'm just messing with you. Great choice, definitely. I am gonna. Nobody else is really playing, so the ones who have not gotten off to a great start. So I'm gonna go football, and I'm gonna go also to Jasper County, but I'm gonna go with the Ridgeland Jags. One win last year, came at the end of the season to sneak into the playoffs. Don't have to wait so long this year. The Jags got win number one right out of the gate, 27-12 over St. John's. As I mentioned earlier, terrific performance from the ground game. You got three guys going over 125 rushing. Xavier Plowdenez, 17 for 132 and a touchdown, plus 10 tackles. That dude is a dog. Winston Smith, 23 for 155 and a touchdown. Huge game for him. And Maurice Brown was 14 for 127 and 2 touchdowns, plus 2 for 6 for 60 yards and 3 tackles on defense. And also a shout out to Jason Kegler, 5 tackles, a sack, and a pick on D. So, we felt like that team, especially early last year, they were really competitive their first few games, and then it kind of snowballed on them. Xavier was out for a few games, Xavier Plowdenez, who is really a anchor on both sides for them, and it just kind of snowballed on them, and then they got it together at the end and got that win. But we felt like last season and then again this season, like they're right on the cusp. They're really close to putting it together. And this is a great start for them. This is going to give them some confidence. Now they get to go to Battery Creek, which, they're licking their wounds right now. It's a really great opportunity for Ridgeland to get to 2-0.
Yeah, I think Rodney Barr's got to be feeling good about where he has his team after that first victory. And you go 1-0, get that win right out of the gate. That is everything to these kids. Can energize them, can just fuel them even more for this next week football, especially when you're going up against a Lowco rival. Love the way that run game is going. Those defensive players are flying right now the football and just playing like absolute dogs out there on the field. So love the new energy and the keep chopping mentality. It continues to build and build. And now year 3 has been a fantastic start for the Ridgeland Hardyville Jaguars. So excited to see how they do. I think it's a very winnable game over there at Creek for a chance to go 2-0 and to beat the win total from last season already, which would be really, really special for the Jags. And speaking of some winners, we got to highlight another one from our pick'em game for week 0. Coach Gregory with the
beat me by 1. I never should have picked Hilton Prep. Dang it! I got burned by a couple of homer picks, but Gregory got me by 1, so I'll get you that extra large shirt, buddy. I'll definitely get it over to you. I loved his comment on Twitter too. You guys know my work address. He's there about probably 18 hours a day right now. So I think the rest he's changing diapers and trying to catch a nap. So shout out to Coach Gregory. Got to 1-0 on the field, got to 1-0 in the pick'em game. So join us next week. See if you can beat me and Coach Gregory. Going to be a good time. And join us on Friday for Lowco game day. Do that around lunchtime, get you ready for kickoff, and then we'll come back at 11 o'clock at night. May have to push that back a little bit. 11 was a little tight. If we had close games where we had to stay to the end, it could have been dicey. So we might push that back a little bit. Stay tuned for programming notes, and then we'll try to get another lowdown in on Thursday, get you up to speed on what's happening and ready for the weekend. So great show tonight, Wes. Enjoyed it. Thanks so much to Louise Sanders, a terrific guest who's doing good work over at JP2. Thanks a million to our sponsors, from the MVPs all the way down to the Lowco Booster Club. Everybody getting in is what it takes. Grab an oar, rising tides lift all boats. Let's row this thing across this body of water and see what's on the other side. So if you'd like to join the club, hit us up at LowcoSports@gmail.com, LowcoSports@gmail.com, or hit us in the DMs on any of the social media because, we're always online. So thanks to everyone who showed up to listen or watch. As long as you do that, we're going to keep on coming back and talking about sports in the Lowco. So that does it for this one. Until next time, I'm Justin Jarrett. He's Wes Kerr. Go Lowco.
The Lowco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Lowco.